Morning Sprint. My name is Jaffney Grant. You know, right here on this Morning Sprint, we go over some trending topics. We go over the news stories that are happening here locally that'll put a smile on your face. Do have to touch base on some of those serious stories, but we kind of do it with that positive spin, that positive follow-up that's happening. But today, we got a very interesting story that we're going to get to later in the Sprint, and I think it's kind of hilarious because it's actually from my exact neck of the woods, all the way from Jonesboro, Arkansas. Okay, so check this out. Police were called to make an arrest of a trespasser, but he got a surprise as far as what kind of trespasser it was. Yeah, if you're looking at your screen right now, you see that it is a chicken. We got the details on this story coming up later in the Sprint. Plus, we have some news about what our insiders can get their hands on for free. That's coming up as well when we get to Jazzy Jazz. But in the meantime, you guys know we're talking about a chicken. We're talking about police officer. Hit me with your favorite, and if you could come up with a very clever chicken police kind of joke. I know some people online have been trying to figure out what could we say to make this into a joke, but this is actually a real story. That's coming up later in the Sprint, but we do need to get to this real quick. A very cool resource is happening over at Virginia Tech. A tiny box saving lives. And this is how. So this year, one box, which is a drug overdose reversal kit, was put in every dorm on campus. It contains 2 doses of Narcan, protective supplies for the person administering it, and a step-by-step video guide to walk you through it. Hokey Wellness says that the boxes aren't encouraging drug use, but are acknowledging the potential for fentanyl to end up in other substances.
We're not expecting our students to be superheroes by any means, but it's just making them feel more confident and more knowledgeable and more empowered to support the rest of the campus community.
Good deal right there. So Hokey Wellness also hosts 15-minute Narcan trainings on campus throughout the month. We all know how important it is to be kind of trained up on something like this, especially seeing as though how, you know, with the situation at our border and the drugs that are just continuing to pour in, fentanyl in particular, to have that Narcan spray on hand in college campuses is very, very important, especially when you got the drugs and stuff that will be flowing in certain situations, but to have something on standby at all times in a college is always a blessing and a good resource to have. So for more information on that story, go to our website, WSLS.com. We got another cool resource happening in our local area, bringing new resource to Northwest Roanoke. This is Goodwill Industries of the Valleys has been working on bringing a full-scale grocery store to the community in need. So check this out. The store will help underserved people in the community get all of their groceries at an affordable price by partnering with a wholesaler who provides all the necessary goods. Representatives say that it will also offer competitive pricing to Walmart, Kroger, Food Lion, while participating in Virginia Fresh Match, which is a program where 50% of fresh produce is covered.
So nutrition is really one of the issues facing people who are in poverty. And when they don't have access to fresh fruits and vegetables, fresh meats, they don't have access to a regular local grocery store, that can significantly impact their health.
Goodwill Industries tells 10 News the new grocery store is expected to open in November of next year. I think it would be a really cool thing to have because we all know there are a lot of families out there who use Goodwill services. And the fact that this organization has done and found a way to bring an actual grocery store, food, yeah, we need the essentials like clothing, you know, and I know some Goodwills, they have furniture and stuff like that. That's very important. It's always a great resource to have for those in need. But food in itself, something to be able to have just another access to it at an affordable price. Super cool project right there. So if you guys are keeping your eyes peeled to that story, we are too. Again, early November or early November of next year. That's going to be it's going to be here before you know it. So I hope all this stuff comes to fruition. Let's get to Buc-ee's. We all know we love us some Buc-ee's, man. It's a store known as the one-stop shop for the travelers. Travel Needs is opening its second location in Virginia. So the company has purchased more than 20 acres of land off Interstate 81 at the Mount Crawford exit just south of Harrisonburg. The mega store is slated to open in 2025. Now, similar to the plans in the new Kent County, it would have 75,000 square feet of retail space, 120 fueling stations, and more than 650 parking spots. The Texas-based chain is also known for its in-house barbecue, giant beef jerky counter, and Buc-ee the Beaver merchandise. Very excited about that. Anytime I can get some Texas going anywhere, I'm always a happy gal. Yeah, when I was in San Antonio, anytime we would travel or something, that would be like one of the stops. And it was just such a refreshing stop because it's so big, so many things that you can think of is in Buc-ee's, and it's just something like, obviously a lot of people brag about the bathrooms. Bathrooms are very clean, food is really good, snacks galore, souvenirs galore, you name it. Buc-ee's is a really cool place to have, so it's cool that they're popping up a second location. New this morning, increase in space weather could lead to the greatest display of the northern lights in the past 2 decades. Now, you guys are familiar with the northern lights that create such a beautiful, beautiful sky. Scientists with NASA and NOAA say that if current trends continue, the next 18 months could bring the strongest northern lights activity of both the coming decade and the past 20 years. It would also allow the light show to be seen more often and from more places on Earth. Northern lights are currently most visible near North and South poles where the Earth's magnetic field is the weakest. So yeah, definitely a beautiful sight to see. Someone who's very familiar with the Northern Lights, and the sight to see there is meteorologist Chris Michaels. He was talking about it earlier about how he wanted to go to Iceland to see the dancing going on. But yeah, if you're looking at your screen right now, that is definitely breathtaking. I would like to see it as well, and there are apparently some more spots that we'll be able to look up and enjoy it. Speaking of meteorologist Chris Michaels and the weather, let's get to our hump day forecast.
Hey there guys, happy hump day. Today, pretty much a carbon copy of yesterday. Lots of cloud cover, temperatures in the 60s, kind of a late October feel out there. And then gradually between now and the weekend, we get a little bit warmer, we get a little bit sunnier as well. By next week, those of us outside of the mountains making a run at the 80s. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. I'll see you first thing tomorrow morning on The Sprint.
All right, Chris, thank you. So you heard him. It's going to be another gray and gloomy like day, but it's okay. Hopefully, if you're getting used to it, it is good sleeping weather. And I will say, weather like this makes the week go by like super slow because a lot of people, it's hard to wake up. Fortunately for me, because I'm on the morning shift, it helps that I wake up and it's pitch black outside. But I can guarantee you that if I was working a day side shift, the struggle would be real trying to get into work and trying to wake up in general. Okay, so guys, we're getting to this right here. I think we have to talk about it. I think it's really cool, but the organization behind the Oscars replacing the missing plaque awarded to the first black actor to win an Oscar. Now, I'm not that big of a fan of the Oscars or anything like that, but I think this one right here is definitely a very interesting story, and it's a really cool deal happening because it's about history. But the late Hattie McDaniel won Best Supporting Actress in the 1940s for her performance as Mammy in Gone with the Wind. Back then, supporting actors winners received plaques, not statuettes. But after her death in 1952, she bequeathed her award to Howard University, which is a historically black college in Washington, D.C., where it was on display there until the late 1960s when it disappeared. Replacement Oscar will be given to Howard Chadwick's A. Bozeman College Fine Arts during a ceremony of October 1st. After McDaniel's historic win, another black woman wouldn't win an acting Oscar until 1991. Whoopi Goldberg won Best Supporting Actress in Ghost. So again, a really, really cool, I think, story here because I actually loved Gone with the Wind. I know that was one of the stories or one of the movies that, you know, some people get easily offended, was trying to get knocked out. But yeah, obviously it was made during an awful time in our history, but at the same time, it showcased film. Being a broadcast journalist, you know, we had to take certain classes to get our degrees, and one of the degrees was kind of looking at how film transformed over time. And Gone with the Wind was one of the best examples that they gave us with the production aspect of it, the acting aspect of it. But more importantly, I remember watching that and seeing Miss Hattie and seeing her character and just being like, you know, amazed and fascinated at the role she played and how captivating it was. So it's good that they're finding a way to return that Oscar back to, you know, in her honor, to a school that's in honor of another person who has made history in our acting world. So again, a really cool story there. Had to bring it out because I think it was very unique that they are doing something in honor of Hattie. Moving on, man, over the weekend, farmers in Virginia were able to set a world record and 2 state records for giant vegetables. Goodwills. Just take a look at this right here. Jason Lawrence of Amisville grew this world record-setting 131-pound butternut squash. What? As for the state records, Hank Houston of Spotsylvania grew a 126-inch or 10.5-foot gourd. That's that big mama jama right there. And Paul Goris of Culpeper grew a squash that weighed just over 910 pounds. Some of the other notable veggies were a giant pumpkin that weighed more than 1,000 pounds and a watermelon that weighed 225 pounds. There it goes right there. This is crazy. Fruit growing and vegetable growing. Like, if you can grow something this big, you have a green thumb. And my thing is this stuff even tasty? Like, I don't even know. Would you even eat this? I don't know. Either way, being able to grow something that big, it's definitely a gift to consider, because man, that is something super crazy. And speaking of growing pumpkins and all that good stuff, we're in the fall season, and fall season means fall festivities. And there are a ton of family-friendly events happening here for you to celebrate. Now, check this out. Going through the list. Lehman Family Farms, just one spot to host a fall festival with pumpkin picking, hay rides, corn maze. There are also farm animals and a fry shack offering up both savory and sweet concessions. With 83 acres in Blue Ridge, it typically draws crowds by the thousands each year. So there's Layman's, and then there's this bad boy right here. Similar activities happening at Yoder's Farm in Rustburg. Fall season kicks off this weekend, but will also open Tuesdays through Thursdays in October. Started as a dairy farm back in the 50s, but now grows tomatoes, strawberries, corn, and pumpkins. And last but not least, we got to get to this bad boy. Sinkland Farms Pumpkin Festival in Christiansburg is another fall favorite. This is the 32nd year for the event, which features a top-rated pumpkin patch along with vendors and live music. This year also includes several new additions to the Kids Zone playground. So if you need something to do this fall, you have no shortage of options there. We got so many different places to go, so many different activities and ways to have fun with your family. Obviously, most rundowns on those events are on our website at WSLS.com. Now let's get to the story. It's one of my favorite stories, and again, it's from my neck of the woods, Jonesboro, Arkansas, and Jonesboro Police Department. Great police department. I remember having to do stories with them multiple times when I was working at my first station at KAIT, Region 8 News. But it's cool being able to be here in Roanoke, Virginia, and talk about this positive story that, again, is putting smiles on people's faces that are across the nation. So, 2 Arkansas police officers got a job this week that they haven't trained for, and we're talking this right here. Social media post, the Jonesboro Police Department said, local resident called for help to remove a chicken sitting on her front porch. Must have been terrorizing her or something. I'm not even sure why you would call a police officer on that, but they did. New recruit officer Nathan Swindle and his field training officer were dispatched to the area to apprehend the trespasser. And while Swindle went on a wild chase, his trainer kept an eye on the situation to make sure the fugitive fowl didn't escape again. Just take a listen to how funny this interaction is. Got it. So yeah, like I said, it's the giggles for me. It's all the happiness that he's having trying to get this chicken. Look at the little foot. So the officer returned the chicken to its pen safely. And again, it's just one of those stories that'll put a smile on your face. And I know some people out there are just like, why is this news? Why do we care? We care because it puts smiles on people's faces. Even if it's like across the world, something that'll make you see something that's not blood and guts all the time will keep you happy. Kareem came in on our Facebook page, says, kudos to the trainee overcoming left-handedness to catch the chicken without falling on his face. That's a great comment right there, because yes, he was like, he was adamant about getting that chicken, and he did a really good job. And then Dwayne came in and says, have you told or heard any good jokes about this story? I haven't had or heard of any good jokes, and I'm not really familiar with any good jokes, but that's where we could probably bring in Jazzy Jazz real quick. So let's get Jazz in the building. Jazz, can you hear me? How you doing, girl?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am good. Okay, so the chicken story. What you think?
I thought it was hilarious.
Did you see, like...
The fact that she called the police on the chicken is very, like, it's weird and bizarre, because, like, I would never think to call the police if a chicken was just chilling on my porch. Like, she must have been scared of it or something. Like, I would never, that wouldn't be my first thought. But seeing the police officer chasing the little chicken running around, and he's just laughing. The chicken is like having the time of his life. It's just hilarious.
I mean, it looks like they were just, it was like a game almost. Like, I bet he thought that he was being hazed, probably.
Yeah, it was hilarious. Yeah, I love seeing the video. Like, it definitely put a smile on my face first thing in the morning. It had me cracking up.
Do we have any comments today?
No comments. Let me check our YouTube real quick.
Okay, no worries, no worries. But yeah, chicken story is definitely something crazy. Uh-oh, do we got one?
Yeah, we got one from Kareem M. He said, I've never seen Gone with the Wind, but there's no other U.S. movie that I know of which sold more numbers of tickets than the U.S. population.
Look at, see, he always got those fun facts, man. I'm telling you. Thank you, Kareem, so much, and thank you for watching us, man. Jazz, before we let you go, girl, tell us about, obviously, you know, insiders. We're trying to keep them in the know with a lot of cool stuff that is coming up, and we got something called Paw Patrol hitting us up. So if you could, explain that so people can figure out how they can get their hands on some tickets.
Yeah, just give me 1 second. So if you're signed up for an insider, which is completely free, you can get a set of tickets for the entire family. Get 4 tickets to Paw Patrol live at the Salem Civic Center. The tickets are completely free, and signing up is free. So all you have to do is head to our website, go to Insiders, the Insiders section under the navigation bar, give that a click, sign up, and then you can enter for your chance to win. It's a great opportunity. It's a nice thing for the kids if you want to like just take them to something fun and get out the house. It's a wonderful event, and we just want to give you all a chance to get your paws on some tickets.
I see what you did there, Jazz. Thank you so much, girlie.
Yeah, of course. Have a great day.
You too, girl. All right, guys, before we roll out, let's get to these headlines before we let you go so you'll know what's coming up in our later newscasts, including 10 News at noon. A new report is giving us an inside look at the Roanoke City Police Department, had an outside assessment highlighting some of the strengths and weaknesses ahead of the new police chief taking over. The details on those strengths and weaknesses coming up, and obviously it's on our website at WSLS.com. Plus, we have Fairfax, Virginia police say that they have arrested a man who they say was minutes away from carrying out a mass shooting at a church in Northern Virginia Sunday morning. A very awful, awful situation, but by the grace of God, it didn't happen, thanks to someone speaking out and getting on top of it immediately. And then last but not least, we got 7 presidential hopefuls will take to the debate stage tonight in California. Second Republican presidential debate starts tonight at 9 p.m. Your favorite Republicans will be vying for the chance to be the next president. So again, guys, thank you guys so much for joining us today, chit-chatting with us today. It is Wednesday, so if you ain't got nothing to do tonight, go out and enjoy some time with your family, whether that be at a park or a Bible study. I'm going to my church that I just found, the Greater Love Church. They're having a worship service there. So I know last week we were talking about staying connected to Christ, which was great. And then I'm excited about what tonight's has in store. So if you guys want to join me, Greater Love Church, come have fun with us at our congregation. But again, if you got some other activity to do, volunteer, go out to dinner, whatever, make it happen, guys, and enjoy. Even though it's a gloomy day, enjoy your Wednesday. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back here again tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., WSLS.com for the Morning Sprint.